Okay, this is going to be our first look at Dave Perry's Understanding the Racing Rules of Sailing through 2012 here on the APS Stern Scoop. For those of you who are familiar with this book, the layout's pretty much the same, and the book has basically just been updated for the new rules. For those of you who aren't familiar with Dave Perry's work, this is probably one of the more useful resources out there to help make you a better sailor. Now, the racing rules of sailing, as they're kind of written in this book here, which you're all familiar with, they're pretty confusing. I mean, even for the most seasoned sailor, they're dull and they're difficult to wade through. So if you try to sit down and just read through them and learn them, it's pretty difficult at best. You're probably going to fall asleep, or you're just going to give up. So what Dave Perry has gone ahead and done here is he's made it a little bit easier for you to learn. What he did was he took each rule, and so we're going to start here, and he's taken each rule, he writes it out as it's put in the rule book itself, okay? And then what he does is he basically puts a layman's definition here, something that everyone can understand. You don't need a Harvard Law degree to kind of figure out what's going on. And then when it's necessary on some of the more complicated issues, he goes ahead and provides you a diagram. And it's a simple diagram, but it really helps hammer the point home. From the most basic rules, to the most complicated ones, and even with definitions, he basically goes through the entire rule book, makes everything really easy to understand, and he presents it in a way that is not intimidating. It's not hard to understand. And it's actually a really great value too, because what he ends up doing is he ends up throwing the entire racing rules of sailing in the back here as well, and it's basically this in the back. So it's pretty cool. This is a great reference book. I mean, this is something that you kind of want to keep in your bag with you at all times. Get a big gallon-sized freezer bag for it, and just throw it in there, and it'll be fine. As for some of the features of the book, there's a couple of things. There's kind of like a unique perspective that he uses, which is essentially questions and answers. And these are questions that he's gotten over time that are related to the rules, from sailors just like you. And what he does is he asks the question and basically answers it himself. So you kind of get different perspectives, and it helps to really re-emphasize all the things that are going on in the rule book. Also, what he does is the book kind of features a blimps eye view in the front here, and this is kind of cool because what it does is it illustrates everything that goes on during a race, and then shows you what rule it applies to the situation. Kind of, it's a handy little reference. And just at the very beginning, what Perry does is he goes ahead and he takes a look at the significant rule changes that are coming down for 2009 and 2012, goes over them really quickly so you can kind of emphasize really early on what's new and what you need to kind of focus on. So basically, for anyone that's looking for a great guide to start learning the rules and really beefing up on them, this is the place to start.